Namaskaram, beautiful beings. Welcome to Living Clarity Insight. Today my intention was to speak about courage. But courage cannot exist without fear. And here we come to talk first about fear, this powerful emotion that lives in every human being. So fear is a very, very powerful emotion. It's one of the two most powerful emotions that we can experience. And it's most of the time fear is due to our past experiences, our karmas. But let's talk about fear in two kinds. There is two kinds of fear. We're going to talk about two kinds of fear today. One kind of fear is the fear that is more instinctual, the fear that is protecting you when you face danger, when there is danger. So this is a more instinctual fear. But there is another kind of fear, which is the fear that holds you back from living fully. And this fear is rooted in past experiences, and it really limits us from daring to be, to shine, to connect with ourselves, to connect with others. It's like creating a cocoon around us, letting us stay in the comfort zone, what we call the comfort zone. And most of the time is very, very working from the depths, from the most obscure places of us, and we don't even dare to believe that is fear that is limiting us. So this fear, this kind of fear that most of us have inside of us, it's not allowing us to be even true to ourselves. So what I mean is, we react when fear appears. When this fear appears, we try to push it away, or to push it down, or we react to it by neglecting it, or by hiding it, or by blaming others, becoming judgmental, or separating ourselves from the others. So this fear is a fear that is really worth looking at. If we want to live in clarity, there is no other way. We need to understand the mechanism of this kind of fear that is limiting us. And here is where courage comes. Yes? We're going to talk about courage tomorrow. Today I really want to dive into this deep, powerful emotion that often it's really, really deep in our skin, in our bones, in our muscles, and we can really see it in our body type, in our way of moving, in blockages in our body, blockages in our communication, blockages in our ability to relate to other person. So I invite you to really, really try and see behind which reactions, thoughts, emotions, relationships, moments this fear is behind. Because if we want to live in clarity, we really need to understand how this emotion, fear, is working in us, the mechanism, when it's coming under cover to limit us from enjoying fully, from laughing, from relating, from loving, from being loved, from hugging, from daring to shine, to speak, to create, to be creative. So one thing that I want to say is that we don't want to befriend our fears, and we don't want to fight our fears, because oftentimes we hear this kind of speaking like befriend your fears, or fight your fears. No, you don't want to befriend your fears, you don't want to live with your fears, you don't want to fight your fears. You just want to become aware of them and the mechanism, because the moment you do that, you take the power of the fear away. And the fear is not you. The fear is an emotion that lives with you. But the moment you understand the mechanism of how the fear is limiting you, you are creating a distance between this emotion and yourself. And then you take your power back, because these emotions are taking our power away. We are giving our power away to these emotions, like fear, by not daring to look at them and understand when we are fearful and behind which reactions lies fear. So I invite you to journal, really sit for a moment with yourself and journal about which are the moments that you don't do things out of fear, and you lie to yourself putting excuses. You remember we were talking about postponing things? When do you postpone things because of fear? Fear of what? What is your biggest fear? And write, stay, close your eyes, take a deep breath in, relax. Now, a way to understand when you're fearful is because usually when we feel fear, we stop breathing. The breath is always indicating us our emotions. So when we are very fearful, it's like we're holding ourselves. So write, when am I holding myself? Observe when you're not breathing. Is it fear now that I'm feeling? So living clarity is daring, having the courage to really look within, as I always say, and understand the mechanism of this life that is you. Namaskaram, thank you for listening, and see you tomorrow. Feel free to ask questions, to comment, so we can interact more and I can answer to your questions. Have a beautiful evening.